Pow, wow, yo, yippee, yay, guys. File number 10, and I'm super excited to be with you guys today. As always, we'll dive into the love of the community by talking about, by the way, I had a lot of beautiful pictures here, so if your face is here, that means you're definitely part of the Hall of Fames. If you're not there, well, then please comment here in the YouTube video or tag me on essentially on Twitter, and I'll be adding your profile picture. Then talk about what is happening on the markets, talking about what is the big results with Borger board, a historic moment where we're bringing one person of the community to represent you in the best way on the top of the board. We'll be talking, of course, about the markets, how are they heading almost at all times high last night. And then last but not least, we'll be talking about two wonderful projects, Xborg, but as well Galactica, layer 1 blockchain one, that is SwissBorg, really layer 1 blockchain. As you guys know, my name is Cyrus Fuzel. I'm the proud founder and CEO of SwissBorg, always here to serve you. Question of the week goes to, could you explain the sustainability score, how it's calculated? Sustainability score is essentially the way how we are able to give a DAO a budget. And the Guardians, as you guys know, you've been voting on a monthly basis. Now be moved, I think, on a quarterly basis based on a budget. This budget essentially is based on a sustainability score. Sustainability score is a multiple type of, it looks at all the different layers that we have at SwissBorg and see how successful they are. The more they're successful, the more essentially the budget to the DAO could grow. So it's really based on how successful we are. Last month was not great. It looks like definitely the month of February was much better. And we are on a very nice, sharp results for month of March. News of the week, I think so. We're going to talk about right after. Mem tokens is really going crazy. MicroStrategy is going crazy. And Bitcoin has actually hit all-time high in euro, which is something to think about yesterday, and much more to come. We are so back, right? The market is driving nuts. It really feels that we're in euphoria. And why it is that so? Well, we talked about it yesterday a bit in the macro picture. A lot happening in these ETF flows. Inflow, there's more and more inflows that are happening. The good thing as well is that Grayscale, the selling is actually drying up. So people are not moving from essentially Grayscale to another ETF. Essentially, there's a lot of inflows coming from the capital markets. So a lot of people are pushing essentially to buy essentially Bitcoin. Why? To play against inflation, against the US treasuries as well. I mean, the US dollar, sorry. And of course, because people are more and more believing it. It looks like the biggest pump of all time is finally happening, and we're really happy about that. For now, we still that Bitcoin is going to be the main dominant one. However, Ethereum will come sooner or later. Essentially, decon that will be implemented very shortly. That's going to be a great way to Ethereum to show again how to bring scalability by lowering the fees, especially on L2. So that'll be a great thing. There is, of course, this ETF that will happen sooner or later, probably in Q2 of this year. If not, majorly, the economy is not doing that well. The US economy is not doing too well, which is, again, a bullish signal for essentially the Fed that will probably try to pivot is treasuries or cut the rates sooner than later. So it's actually a very good thing for riskier assets on the long run. However, there'll be a lot of volatility in the short run. If not, of course, the mem tokens are going crazy and there's more happening on the markets. Historic trade volume. So let's look what's happening on the SwissBorg app. As you can see, we're right here right now, okay? So this is pretty much bringing like the highs of January and February 21. Are we really there? Well, now we have much more users than we used to have. So that means obviously they'll have more volume that is. I believe we're somewhere here. We're still not at all-time high. So I still think that we have one more year at the least for this bull market. And of course, this market is very much different from the other ones. Please consider as well that, it's healthier as well compared to our previous. There's less leverage. Last time it was very done through leverage. There's more and more capital markets that are coming into it through the ETF. There's a shortage of Bitcoin, to be honest, happening on different exchanges. So, and there's more and more on-chain activity, which is, well, something much better that will enable us not to have a catastrophic black swans that we had in the past. So, long story short, This shows that we're definitely in the bull cycle, but we're very far from euphoria. So market update. Let's talk about now in the sectors. What is really taking the lead? We could talk about two of them. Essentially the meme token right now, just recently, and AI. These are the two hottest themes that are really bringing the narratives around essentially crypto. You see much less on essentially the index blockchains, which is very interesting. And then of course you see DeFi, which is still stagnating here, and the gaming as well. So essentially these one haven't yet been too excited, right? It doesn't mean that this is going to bump for the others, but definitely we're seeing really two big themes here, which is AI and the meme tokens. So that's why a little bit yesterday I was talking about, are you guys interested to have essentially meme tokens? I think there's still a lot to be done, but there's a lot of explosion that happening. Now, if you look at essentially the universe of AI and big data, SingularityNet is definitely one of those that is really taking the lead, but there's Golem, Airweave. There's a lot of different ones that are actually bringing a lot of momentum, volume, and of course, market price action. So memes in the place, and I'm sure Roman Sprengers, you're really happy about that. Shout out to yourself. Shiba is really the one that's taking. There's Pepe as well, Bonk, Dog with a Hat. I think so. This one's getting listed. And then there's a few others, ones that are going in, a lot of the small ones. I would say in terms of performance, a Dog with Hat was definitely a big one. I personally didn't go into that one. I went there late. I mean, I went there, but very late. I like to talk about this and stop here. A lot of people within the SwissBorg network don't really strongly believe into meme tokens. And we see that meme tokens, to some extent, is not fundamentally strong, and maybe it doesn't really have a place into the SwissBorg app. And I have to say, I really disagree against this. And in 2020, I was, quite shy about it. And, I didn't really want to put too much pressure there. But I really think on the opposite. I think so meme tokens is probably one of the strong use cases that crypto has today. And let me hear you out. Let me hear myself out. We do a lot of things on internet. We spend a lot of time and value with social media and all that, but there's no real way to bring love to it. Through Dodge or through these different meme tokens, it could be the love of dogs. How much love do you put into your dog? You could ask many people around you and say how much you would sell your dog. People would say for millions or 10 millions or $100 million because they have really loved it. And I think so this is a bit what's happening in these meme tokens, is how you canalize a lot of love through whatever you want. It could be Pepe, it could be Dodge, and people just rally for it. Like, how much love do you put into your favorite football matches and football teams or baseball teams or basketball teams or hockey teams? A lot of love. And there's no real reason you're doing that. It's just that you think that it's cool to be part of something. And it doesn't have really utility that, a team will win this championship, whatever. But it brings a lot of joy and satisfaction. I think so. Meme tokens has a bit that where essentially on top of it, you have monetary gain. And I think so. This is why it's very interesting. And when you look at essentially Shiba Inu, until tomorrow, I didn't really look into it, but we'll talk about it. It has actually some fundamentals. There's some things going on with it. So I really consider you guys that fun, fair, and community-centric does mean meme tokens should be considered more and more to the SwissBorg app. I definitely will have it. As I said yesterday, my 6 biggest position today is Dodge itself. I didn't have any Shiba, sad for me, or a very small amount maybe. And I still have a fair amount of Pepe. But yeah, I think some meme tokens should be considered. There's a lot of value in it because there's a lot of people holding this and believing in these dogs with hats, or it doesn't really matter. But there's value in where there's value. And that's something that has to be important and to be understood. One house could be worth whatever, X million. The other house could be worth less for no real reason. Market rates depends on very small amount of things. And the fundamental value of different companies, even if you compare NVIDIA and Amazon, I mean, one is making much more revenue and NVIDIA is making much less. But at the end, Amazon and NVIDIA has the same market cap, right? So I think we have to agree at the end that value is a very subject, complex thing. And that's where meme tokens happen beautifully, which is based on, well, how much love you put into those dog with a hat or those Pepe and those Dodge. Obviously, the Borg had to talk about this one. It is helping a lot. The Borg is waking up. A lot of people are talking about it. There's obviously strong fundamentals that are helping this pump. One of the big one is, I think so, there's been some people that just left the community, and good for them. There was a lot like fudders out of the community that left, and I think so this was very healthy for all of us. There's more and more people, of course, coming to SwissBorg App. We see this, the verified users just growing day per day, the depositors as well. And obviously, a lot of these people go to buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, and SwissBorg token. So this is something that's going very well. We have some stats more about that. We saw as well on the more institutional side that a lot of market makers have left as well these exchanges. So a lot of people were doing arbitrage essentially on SwissBorg, and these guys got burned down pretty much. So they're like, okay, there's one direction going. I don't want to leave. Because when there's channels that happening, let's say 17, 19, right? People are playing. So whenever it goes to 19, they will sell all their tokens and then buy back at 17. And they play in these ranges. And so it's how these market makers make a lot of money. However, which is not SwissBorg, just to make things clear. But when then there's a real price action, then these market makers essentially leave the thing. So this is obviously really, really good. Yeah, all in all, obviously there's been a lot of push on the SwissBorg token, and I'm sure there's much more to come as the roadmap is not being 100% unveiled. And of course, the white paper that we're all attending, how the board to decentralize it, is in the production right now. So now back to the markets. Everything is going bananas, especially the meme tokens itself, with the SHIB being the winner one, Dodge as well doing quite nice. So Borg doing still okay-ish, and Bear based on last week 50% up, which was amazing, and more things to become. The main token is about Shiba. So the Shiba obviously has been one of the big tokens that wanted to take over Dodge. I would say the difference that you have from Shiba to the others is that they have a Shiba swap, so they have their own DEX. They have an NFT marketplace. They have some different games. There has a huge amount of community that actually is backed by these Shiba. I think so. It's really good. It's still made by pseudonym as well, Ryoshi. So who knows who this person is? I think so. They're trying to bring more and more use cases how this Shiba is being played. There is, though, different tokens within their ecosystem too, such as the Bone, I presume. So, yeah, all in all, it's not just a meme token. It actually has utilities to it. And, yeah, great live the dogs, or who let the dogs out. Pegasus. So who wants to be part of Pegasus? There's a lot of people. So far, there's 500 people. So what you have to be is to make part of the Pegasus Club is that you have to have a certain amount of Borg, and you have to have over $100,000 worth of crypto in our app. And essentially, you have different Pegasus vaults. There are some vaults that have done extremely well so far. There's even one, the AGI, that actually went out after just a few weeks. It did a 4x. So we're very, very happy. But so far, these are the different deals that have been done. RSS3, which is doing well. AGIX, which is doing 180%. Blaze is the only one that is not doing too well. And Reach is up 34% from last week. So I think so. It's really good so far. With $5,000, essentially, there's $12,000 has been made. Of course, these are indicated performance. Things change all the time, but things are going very well. And I think so. People are very happy to be Pegasus as we speak. Many tokens have been listed in the app. There is Render. Render, if you know what it is connecting creators with the GPU power they need. So how to decentralize the GPU usage in the best way possible. This is done by on Solana, of course. This is really one of the token that has a strong utility, a very strong narrative in AI. I think so. It's a bit late-ish. I mean, there's still probably some room, but the thing did 5x, I think so already. So of course, it's a great token nevertheless. Orca, for those who knows, it's another token that we just listed. It's about a decentralized exchange, one of the best decentralized exchange we have on the Solana ecosystem. So this is definitely something that hasn't been pushed so much yet. So more to be done. We have Ari as well. That Ari is a pioneer of the cutting edge of Web3 gaming studio. The great thing about Ari is that it's still a low market cap. It had a lot of bad press with FTX, but they're finally getting out of all this huge mess. and and a lot will be done in the coming cycle. Last but not least, one of my really cool one, Hive Mapper. You all heard about Google Map. Well, Google Map, you have these essentially a lot of cars that are around the world that go to take these different pictures and try to make the map as nice as possible, and then essentially get all your data with that. Honey is the same thing. The opposite is that you buy your own camera. SwissBorg, employees, we have many of those cameras. You put it on a car, and then you start filming the entire world and those streets that haven't been mapped yet. That's where you get more rewards and more points. I think so. It's something that is very, very cool. It's as well as Solana ecosystem. I think Hive Mapper is definitely one of the strong use cases for Web3. Okay, MetaFest. Some of you guys already know this. This is the third round of MetaFest, but this one is going to be better and greater. There's a lot of great people that'll be coming. MetaFest is about bringing creators, technologists, futurists, people that want to bring Web3 to the next, I would say, era. There's a lot of founders, a lot of community members, a lot of entrepreneurs that come to this festival. It is powered by Caprice. So Caprice, for those that don't know, it's one of the biggest music electronic festival we have here in Crans-Montana, which actually I am here today. The idea here is that they will have essentially 3 days. So there's this VIP tickets that goes for the 3 days. And if not, there is just the principal day, which is on April 4th. It will happen. Essentially, it will be a lot of different conference and day and workshops during the day, a great dinner, and it will end up with a great party with a lot of cool stuff happening. I really encourage all you guys to book your tickets. I will definitely be there. There's other founders of Galactica that will be there. There'll be a lot of cool special people, some gurus and different people that you love to see. It's going to be a lot of fun. So please book your ticket before it's too late. It's happening 1 month right now from now. Having up next events as well. Thanks for those who made it yesterday in Lausanne. And the next event is happening this Friday. It is done by Christelle and it'll be in the Republic, the bar, which is in Geneva. So please attend it. It's going to be a lot of cool, especially now it's a good time to talk about the future of where we're heading. Galactica. So for some time, probably I've heard this multiple times. Galactica is a great joint venture, is SwissBorg Layer 1 blockchain. And I think which is very important is that it's been now 7 years that we've created SwissBorg. And we've done a lot of great things. But we definitely feel the urge to merge the off-chain world and the on-chain world. And I think so this is exactly why Galactica its purpose. It's really to understand that the new TVL, right, is not only money, it's data. And how do you take this data from the off-chain world and you bring it on-chain? And this is the whole big thing that I think so no one has really understood yet. How do Web2 companies take over any market is by taking data and then selling this data. What if all your data that you had in Web 2, you could start uploading in Web 3, and with that, start to bring credibility and governance that goes it, and create finally a Web 3 nation, right? I think so this is the network state that Galactica is building with SwissBorg, is how to empower citizens in that could finally be able to govern something that's strongly, surely, but very different. And it's not only bringing, identity on chain. It's more than that. Is how can you bring long-lasting relationships on chain? And it could go from DeFi, of course, like for example, on all collateralized loans or security tokens or real estate or anything that you believe in. But it could go as well into how to power citizens by getting unique basic income by the fact on how much they're contributing to the ecosystem, how much they're bringing essentially loyalty to it, which I think the Borgers have been doing much better than any other ecosystem that we have. And I think so this is why I believe Galactica is going to be the game changer. you can look at Galactica as a great piece of technology, right? And seeing this identity layer for all the blockchains, right? Because why it's built essentially on Cosmos and has a great SDK, but there's FHE that's coming with it that could really enable, again, to have this great, better than only Zcash KYC, but this FHE that could really bring essentially how to have zero knowledge based on-chain, based on your off-chain essentially data. I think so. What we love about this is how essentially it's going to bring this decentralized societies. And if you look more and more where we're heading in terms of world, this is exactly what we need in order to get to the next generation of crypto, right? This is the real Web3 experience that we're all looking towards forward. And I think so. This is exactly why I'm so pumped about Galactica. Just I was saying, Galactica Network Public Testnet V1 launch in March. This is happening right now. So very exciting news for the Galactica Network. It's how to unveil not only a vision, but a great piece of technology that could change forever the game of Web3. So I really encourage you guys to have a check as well. Look into this. And next week, or the following week, we'll have the team that'll be explaining this on a special episode only on Galactica, on decentralized society, and how we can empower the next billion users to finally bring credibility, to bring a soul to Web3, and to bring finally a world that you have the best of both privacy and compliance all together. Xborg, no need to represent and talk about more about Xborg, but just to let you know that things are going extremely well. There's been already a total interest over $10 million with over 6,000 people, which is quite crazy. There is more and more essentially advisors that are joining the project, such as Ivan on Tech, but as well just recently Alex Becker too. So this is really, really good. There is, as you probably already know, some of the biggest names of esports that are already onboarded and are part of it. The NEEP app is actually launching tomorrow with already 20 plus teams. So Xborg is really on the great trajectory. There is obviously the pre-sale that's going to happen right after. Hopefully the token generation event will happen as well. So looking forward to see this baby get into where it deserves, which is in the top gaming guilds and as well the gaming protocols. Borger and board, couldn't be more excited by this. This is really something that it touches my heart. We always do this for the money. We understand the products, but eventually we stay for the philosophy, the people that are behind, and governance is something that is really paramount in what we do at SwissBorg. We have sometimes not been the best at this, and now we really try to get to the next stage. And the next stage is bringing essentially one of the smartest the person that has been doing a lot of greatness for a long time. Every candidate that applied for this, I think so, really had a strong merit. There's no doubt. Most of you, every of you, were great candidates for this. And I thought you would have done a great job. There's no doubt about that because you have strong dedication and love that goes with it. You guys are super smart and you all are very strongly respected by the community. So, with that, let's get into it. Who is going to be for the next year on the board of SwissBorg? It is number 3, Enrico, number 2, Claire, and number 1, it is Julianas. Congratulations. Big applause to the 3 of you. Actually, even to the 4, because Draz, you were just right behind Enrico, actually at 13.8, I think so. What can I say? I mean, Draz, you've been with us since the ICO. Much love to you. Enrico, even prior to the ICO. Claire, same, and for a very long time. You all have definitely great attributes. I would say Junias won, was a bit more, got a little bit more votes, but nevertheless, the 4 of you had been great votes, and all of you had been great. Julianas, congratulations to you. This means a lot to have you there. I did definitely picture you there. I think that you're an amazing person. I think you deserve it 100%. Everyone will agree with that. There's 4,500 people that voted. I think so. This really shows again the great democracy that we're putting in place with SwissBorg. This is historic times. I'm looking forward to have you on the board. I think so. We need to elect you on the board, and then you come to the next one. Probably maybe come out the first one, doesn't matter. But it'll officialize after, because you have to vote for it, and then we have to vote for it and then put you on the board. But this is going to be great. Again, which is very important for people listening, is not because Julianas is on the board that everything is going to go better, and that everything that we're going to say to Julianas is going to be effectuate. Just to make things clear, this will not always be the case. There's a lot of things that I like to push, but don't always go through, right? So, but this is a great way for Julianas to bring really the community at its heart, all the great ideas that you have, all the great questions that you have, to ask them on the board. Hopefully be able to communicate in a better way. And Julianas, I'm very, very, very confident that they're going to do a brilliant job. So thank you very much for this, and congrats again. Guardian results tomorrow at 19:45 CET. The results, buybacks, voicing power, and acquisition campaign for the Guardian result number 10. So let's check it out tomorrow. Weekly in some Borg data, things are going very well. 680 people. We are 49,189. We should next week or 2-3 weeks from now get to 50,000. That'll be really nice, but I'm really happy to see that we're over the 49,000 threshold. 230 million Borg, which is insane. That is over 23% of the circuit and supply. Weekly change, obviously 26% up. And 154,000 crypto holders, Borg holders in the app, which really shows again the love that we have and the crowd of the great community that's behind. SwissBorg and some data, things are going well too, of course. The volume last week was 125 million, which is very nice. 1,200 new Borgers, which is crazy. Weekly active users, it jumped from 130 to 143, so 13 more new thousand people. Assets 1.5 billion, which is great. In the last 7 days, verification of KYC was 3,000 plus, and the net inflow of last week was 8 million. We had in and outs, a lot of in and outs, but 8 million is still very good. Now the community, yes, cast your score. Yes, it's going to be a quite fun, a very good one, and that makes me very happy. Volume going crazy, app activity too. Borg holders a little bit better, but last week was still already a strong one. The Borg token, great, but last week was a fantastic one. Invitations, they'll get even higher too. So all in all, things are going really well. Borgers, what can I say? We're living the bull right now. It's going to be quite volatile. Retail is slowly but coming, which is really a good sign. Obviously, there's still a lot of institutional money of just pushing this market in a banana ways, and it's probably going to continue. For how long is hard to determine, but getting to all-time high prior to the halving, which is happening in 49 days, seems quite obvious, to be honest. I thought even last night at midnight it was going to happen. Overall, the Borg token is doing well. There's a strong fundamentals of new people going into Borg and realizing that this is a strong asset that will play very well with the upcoming, essentially, retail coming into action, but as well people waking up, which is great. I believe that as well, we're in times that we should be grateful. And, a lot of people are going to tell you, yeah, you were super lucky, you just got in early. No, you're not. Maybe you got in early, but you stayed in. And this is the most difficult part. When I see even people from the community that, drops out and say like, oh, I don't care about this community anymore, and then you see the pump happening, you feel really sad. And that happens in every cycle. They might come back, might not come back. But the hardest thing is always to have that extra moment to be extraordinary, right? Where you wait in that queue and it's really hard, you work really hard, and nothing is happening, and then suddenly magic. And that magic then goes bananas and it goes parabolic, and that's what is the whole extra. The genius thing is to keep in, strongly work on value, on fundamentals, and believing in what you're doing, and trying to go to that extra moments that usually people just fail to do that. So it's a great time for us, obviously, in crypto. It's a great time that we're building wealth. It's a great time to refer people as well, because a lot of people until, last week would say, I don't want to get into crypto, but you're seeing now more and more people, and it's still not late. Like, it looks late for us, but we're not even at all-time high. We're not even there at all-time high. So that means there's still plenty of time to invest and to make good money, not like who have invested in early 23, but there's still a lot of time to make some good money. And if you see all these, institutional money aping into Bitcoin right now, that means that this will probably have a nice run on the long run. Let's put it that way. I was just thinking of Janet Allen. She saw the Twitter thing about crypto and aping, and that's the funniest of all time a meme. Which, by the way, guys, whoever wants, please make a meme video. Let's please bring more meme videos with Borger. So this will be a great way to bring cool people as degens into the Borg ecosystem. As always, guys, be wealthy, be healthy, love our Borg and equity. Take care, guys. Much love. Bye.
Through SwissBorg, all assets will have a fiat gateway. And here is the thing.
Premium features gives you 0 fee trading.
It's an amazing fiat gateway.